What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is The Defenders, Season 1, Episode 5, Take Shelter. So, after how intense the last one ended, of course we have to pick up pretty much right where we left off with an epic battle. And honestly, it turns more epic than I thought it would. I thought it was just going to be the Defenders going up against Elektra as the Black Sky and this weapon that Alexandra has turned her into. But then we start to see, this episode starts off with all of the members of the hand, like all of the fingers getting ready for it. And so we see the guy, I still don't really know exactly what his name is because they said it twice in the last episode and I'm just not great with names. But it's something like I want to say Mirakuma. I could be wrong. But we see him on top of the building and then he jumps to the top of the Royal Dragon and then drops into the middle of the fight that's already going on. And so the Defenders are fighting, everybody's fighting, and then it kind of halts for a second as here comes Sawande and Madame Gao with all of their men. They're shooting up the place, everybody's diving out of the way, and then they end up getting surrounded. And so at this point, Stick's like, alright, everybody just stay with me and you'll make it okay. And then Matt's just like, nope, I'm going to be an idiot because there's Elektra and I want to talk to her. And so he manages to get her off on their own. He does get through to her, and this is where a lot of this episode is focused around. Is Elektra actually the Black Sky, or has Alexandra made a mistake? And I find that very interesting because this is kind of different. Most of the time whenever we see the hand's plan set in place, most of the time it's the good guys stopping their plan that ends up ruining the day for them. But this could be the one time where it's actually the hand has made a mistake, and because of that mistake, that's why the good guys are going to win in this instance. It's kind of strange to think about, but it makes it very, very interesting, because a lot of this episode is dedicated to showing us Elektra, showing us the fact that there is still Elektra inside of her, which means the Black Sky transformation didn't work. Either, I don't know if that means they got the wrong vessel, or if maybe the transformation itself went awry whenever they did it. But whatever the case, we see that there is still Elektra inside of her, and the episode even ends with her going into Matt's apartment and looking around, and then finally touching his pillow, laying down on top of it, and then going to sleep. So clearly Elektra's still in there. I'm very interested to see where this is going. On top of that, it's creating more of a rift in the hand. You know, we see Madame Gao Bakudo returns in this episode like I knew he would. And then the Mirakuma guy, they're all talking to her and just like pretty much accusing her of making a mistake on the Black Sky. And it's just so interesting to see a rift created in the bad guys group. And that's one of the great things about this show is that they started off the very first episode showing us Alexandra, showing what she was doing. And so it almost feels natural because we've been seeing this throughout the entire season. And so it feels natural that we would see what's going on with the hand as well because they've been doing that in the entire season. It makes a ton of sense. And so, I don't know, it just fits together so perfectly in how they've handled it and how they've built up everything to this point. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen next. You know, are the three members that are left, are they going to create some new plan that's going to try to take over the city that the good guys now will have to stop, or is somehow Alexandra going to turn this whole situation around to where she'll force this to work even though it's not working right now? I don't know. I don't know what to expect now, and that just gets me so excited because at first it just seemed like it was just by the books. They were going to have to take on the Black Sky, stop the bad guys, save the day. But now, who knows what's going to happen next? Who knows where it's going to go next? It's got me really pumped. Aside from that, though, we also see another part of it that I really enjoyed the thought of. We get to see a lot of the side characters end up in one place. I hope they do something with this. If they just kind of push them off to the side and don't focus on them until like the end of the season, I'll be pissed off. Because, I mean, you've got Trish and Malcolm together. You've got Foggy and Karen together. You've got Misty. You've got Colleen. You've got Claire. You've got all of these people together. The only people they don't have in there are the Meachums. And it's probably because they couldn't get them back for this one for whatever reason. They did mention that Ward was out doing some sort of business trip. Who knows where Joy is at this point. But just seeing all these side characters together, thinking about the possibilities of them getting to interact with each other, I'm excited for that too. It's not really the action-packed part of it. It's not the main plot part of it. but it's really exciting to think about. All these characters with so many different personalities coming together and interacting with each other. Oh, the possibilities are endless. So, aside from all of that, get on to kind of the main plot of the story. After the whole fight scene happens, after they manage to escape, we see Luke Cage takes on the Suwanda guy, which kind of makes sense because this is the guy that ended up getting Cole killed by getting him involved in the whole thing. And so it does make sense that they would sort of face each other. We see they're fighting a little bit. He's managing to get some good hits in on Luke Cage, which is kind of shocking him, but also like making him angry at the same time. Knocks him into the street. He gets hit by a truck, and then everybody escapes into the sewer. Manages to get to, I think, the dojo. And then all of a sudden, in walks Luke Cage. I'm just like, what happened? And he just walks in with the biggest smile on his face. He's like, I'm better than fine. And then takes him down to this van, opens up the back, and there's Suwanda sitting in the back. He's like, I got one of their guys. I'm just like, Luke Cage, you're a beast. You're amazing. It was just a perfect, the delivery, everything about it was perfect. His expression, just smug grin on his face, like, I got one of their guys. And so a lot of the episode is dedicated to them talking to the Suwanda guy, getting their friends in. One of the scenes does lead to Colleen gets sort of intercepted by Bakudo at one point. And so we do have a little bit of an interchange between them. They're talking about, he's trying to convince her that she's still a part of the hand, that he was the greatest teacher that she could have ever had. Ultimately, though, they do have a fight and he slashes her across the stomach. I don't know what any of this means. It kind of seems pointless right now, unless there's something else going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. I don't know. It just, that little interchange seems kind of pointless. Him trying to convince her that she's still part of the hand. I don't know. But anyway, Denny shows up to help out. Luke Cage also shows up to help out. And so they do manage to stop him. But then, the rest of the episode's going on. We see them just going to get everybody that they care about. There's a little bit of an interchange between Karen and Matt that shows that she is frustrated that not necessarily that he's doing the Daredevil thing again. It's that he's involving her in it, and the way he tells her is just so out of the blue and out of nowhere that's the part that frustrates her. If she was going to find out, she would prefer he just come in and say, hey, I'm doing it again. But he comes in and is just like, you're in danger. And she's like, this is how you're going to tell me, really? So I kind of like that. It's a little bit different. Most of the time, characters would be like, I can't believe you're doing this again, Matt. I'm so disappointed in you. Even she and Foggy at the station are just like, I tried to talk to him. So did I. I guess this means he's trying to tell us something. And so they're both kind of realizing that this is just a part of who he is. He can't turn this part of him off. He wants to help people in need. The question is, are they going to help him do it, or are they just going to say, hey, look, we love you, Matt, but this is not a part of our lives. We don't want to be involved in this, so please leave us out of it. I'll be interested to see how they're going to handle this. But we see at one point Jessica goes to get Trish, and this is when the Mirakuma guy attacks. Pretty interesting to see that little fight scene. Like I said in a few episodes, of all of these four defenders, Jessica is definitely the weak link, because she's not the one that knows any sort of fighting. Her only thing is she's super strong, where Danny and Matt can both fight these guys because they're both skilled in Kung Fu. Luke Cage is indestructible, so even if they punch him, most of the time he just takes it and throws them. She's vulnerable. She can get hit. She's not great at Kung Fu, so she's not really going to be great at fighting them. Even if she does manage to get a hit in, it's one hit, and they can take one and keep going. So it is a pretty one-sided fight, but then Matt steps in, fully dressed in his Daredevil outfit again. Still looks kind of silly with the horns, but still looks better than the Ben Affleck movie. But yeah, so he shows up to fight him, and then that's when the guy goes back to the hideout. They have this conversation with Alexandra about Daredevil's involved, and this is where they start to realize Elektra used to love him in her past life, and so there's a problem here. Maybe she was fighting me to protect Daredevil. So this is where the questions start getting raised there. They go back to Suwanda Suwande? I don't know how to pronounce his name. But Matt's dressed up as Daredevil and interrogating him as Daredevil just to kind of spark some fear into him. And it doesn't really work, he's still holding out, he's still like, we have the upper hand, but it's just, pretty much holding out any information until eventually Matt gets frustrated because he starts taunting him. He's like, "She died in your hands because of you, it's your fault." And so he knocks him out, and then they start arguing because they find out that Elektra and Matt used to be involved, and he didn't tell them about this, and so they're all like, "Oh, I can't believe you didn't tell me," and kind of have to have a little bit of a rift in the team at this point because, I don't know, they just always do. It's kind of a cliche. It's probably the only part of this episode that I didn't really get into, but thankfully it didn't last very long because Danny walks over to the side. We see Sawande is slowly waking up, and then as everybody's still arguing, he stands up, fights Danny, grabs a knife, holds it to his neck. He's like, "I have the Iron Fist, the war is over now." And then turns, and as he turns, there's Stick. And Stick just, whoosh, "Not yet." And falls off, and I'm like, oh my god. I don't know, like, we saw Stick behead, what's-his-face? Nobu, I think was his name, in Daredevil Season 2. We've seen him decapitate somebody before. But this one was just like, holy crap. They've got him. They've got Danny. They've got the Iron Fist. Oh no, what are we gonna do? And just whoosh, problem solved. It was just so out of nowhere and blunt that he just comes in with a sword and decapitates him. I was just like, holy crap. It was kind of awesome. But ultimately, that's where their story ends. I guess they're trying to come up with a plan of what to do next. How are they going to attack next? Clearly, Stick wants to just kill Elektra, but Matt's like, "No, I don't want to kill her. I think I can get through to her." And it looks like he may possibly be right. I'm still not entirely sure, because it seems like it would just be too easy if this were the case. If it's truly Elektra is still in there, the Black Sky failed. If that's the case, it feels like the bad guy's plan is already over. The best they can do is just hope to go on a terror spree and kill a bunch of people and maybe kill the Defenders in the process, but I highly doubt it. So, I don't know. I'm looking forward to see what they got next, but I really hope that it's not as easy as the Black Sky has failed. So, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully you guys are too. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on this episode? What are your thoughts going into the last 3 episodes? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Defenders reviews, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.